Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Vicky 3, and this is episode 30. This should be the final episode of this run. I think I might have one more run, but let's see how things go with, well, a monumental decision that has been made, and we clicked the button to initiate it right before the end of the final episode, the last episode that we had, and that is this diplomatic play. We are attacking the United States for recognition. So we want recognition. Now, what we have to get to make that happen, I'm assuming we're gonna have to invade to get that recognition. Our subject, the Philippines, their military strength is quite weak though. But they'll add a little bit. We'll see if they get in. I don't think I have any added war goals that I want to really get, because that's going to be harder. I want to get recognition and just have it be achieved, especially with it already being Christmas Eve 1927, with essentially 8 years and a week remaining in this playthrough. To get that recognition in less than a week means I don't want to add, and maybe they don't even want to fight, but right now it shows that they are confident, therefore they probably are more than happy to take up the fight. On the fence, just 3 nations: Russia, Italy, Austria, number 1, number 4, and number 3. So 3 of the top 4 nations. If they sided against us, that would be our doom. I don't think there's any way to sway them. Apparently there is no sway that any of them would accept. So, but let's hope that that's for both of us. They don't seem to want to be in. They seem to want to stay out of it. So it's us and the US. Military strength, slightly weaker than theirs, but we have some new tech just 10 weeks away that's going to make us stronger than them, and maybe by a good margin. We have a slightly stronger navy, about 33% stronger than what they have. Neither one of us have a terribly strong navy. We of course would want to invade the west coast and kind of go from there. I'm nervous, folks. I'm so freaking nervous about this one, but we haven't done anything large scale. Supply will not be a problem in the U.S., so at least there's that. But we need to mobilize. So let's start with that. Mobilize all generals. We have 114 with generals. I think we're going to need even more. I've thrown in what generals we had in the random areas. Your Africa, your South Pacific, but in Japan itself we still have enough left for a garrison. Alright, so mobilization is beginning. We are going to want to call on conscripts as well as time goes on. War goal has been added, so they want the Zanzibar treaty port, they want Katanga, and they want to ban slavery in the Philippines. That's not bad. If we do happen to fail at this, that's not going to be devastating to the playthrough. Necessarily add things. I do think that we're going to need at least one more general in Japan. All right, so our mobilization is obviously going up. We're kind of getting things in play here. Like I said, I don't want to add a war goal. I'd like to keep this as easy as possible. They are fully mobilized now, though, all 113 battalions. Russia has mobilized battalions for what? All right, just before we get into the final phase of escalation, while we're still in diplomatic maneuvers and there's nothing out there that I can do to sway anyone. Russia is close to wanting to get involved, but they're not. trench wars unlocked, so we've done that one. We've got that in place. There are other options, but they're going to take 10 years. Bolt action rifle at 34 months is definitely our other option. The war could take that long, right? It could take that long, so we're going to try to get on with that one as well. And that has unlocked trench infantry with a huge influx. Army power projection going up by not quite 50% compared to what we have now. Actually, that's 75% of what we have now. So even turning that up, our deficit's still manageable at 40,000, and I think we can continue going with that for a while as we grow the economy a little more, and then I'm going to try to feed the military a little more as things go on. But we can easily just turn construction off or turn it down a step, and our balance will be fine. I don't mind deficit spending for a while when we have 17-18 million in reserves, and then plus we want our military to be strong. Now, current power projection, 2144. It's going to take a little bit for that line infantry or trench infantry to become a thing. However, it's not massive in terms of the timing, and it's more about a tactical approach and just more more ammunition being used is really all. So our new army power projection is now stronger than the US, and it's going to get better with time. Till now, though, I cannot plan our invasion, so we'll have to hold off just a little bit longer. I think in this final phase we should be able to start planning the invasion. And there you go. Now it's countdown to war. Countdown to war. And no one has joined. It seems like we're in the clear on that part. They've remained at that 2033. They've remained at that 295. So keeping an eye on that. I forgot that we do have a front that we can actually fight each other on, and that is in Africa. It's one really big front, by the way. So do they have anything? I don't know if they have anything troop-wise there. We want to put some of our troops here and conquer that area, because that's going to help. That held territory will absolutely help. So we want to commit some of our military to this, and we'll see how much of it does. But we want the local force, like Zanj. Yeah, just 13 days for them to get there. So the local African forces are going to go there, and then we'll keep an eye on how that front is looking, which right now the U.S. has nothing committed towards that front. So those 16 units would have total control there. If anything, I might want to bring the Indonesia group in as well, and then have the Japanese forces focus on invading the U.S. itself. So let's go ahead and do that. It's going to take them 63 days, so that's one of your reasons to kind of get on with that. But an actual invasion of the U.S. is still not available while we are not at war. So for now, this is the only front that can be fought. Okay, big deep breath. Let's make that 2. Italy declares neutrality. Okay, the war is on. So our goal, recognize they have some goals that aren't so bad. Banning slavery, not so bad. A treaty poured out of Zanzibar, something, but it's not so bad. We'd be okay without that. But then losing Katanga. I don't want to lose Katanga, but for their side, not a big deal. For our side, to war. Now, where we're at, how much we need to win this, I don't know. So in 7 days, their exhaustion, their base decay, radical population, okay. Radical population makes it decay faster. So what is my war goal? How do I control my war goal to gain recognition? And that's one thing I don't know. Our decay is slower. That is ours, right? Yes. 0.42, 0.52. So, tenth of a point weekly decay difference. There we go. Okay. Zanzibar and Katanga. So, again, Africa becomes a key one in this. And our war goal recognitions. We don't know where that's going to be. Cost of war is less for us. That's good. We already have dead and wounded. That's not good. We haven't even fought. Have we? Are we starting a fight here against no one? We don't need to invade immediately. But on the make peace. So it's starting at a minus 221. The war support, of course. Short duration of war. Plus 10 for white peace. Turmoil. American gold reserve. They have plenty of gold reserves. How quickly do I want to add that second front, or do we want to conquer Africa first? Let's give it a month in Africa and see what happens. War in the Mud was successfully completed. Okay, they've got 29 units on the way, which means we need to bring reinforcements. We are at 18 right now. I know I have more on the way as well, but they are sending units here, so we're going to need to send a little bit more. 18 more on the way, 8 there. Slight advantage. Try to send a smaller unit this direction. In fact, that's already opened up into a second front, so it's already split the front into multiple areas. We closed off another area. Right now we're advancing because they've got nothing, but they've got more on the way. Taking a lot of land in the meantime. Okay, checking in. Checking in on the war itself. So we have a very small number of dead and wounded. And we've already got a nice advantage in the war. They've got a minus 10. We control 100% of our war goal. Okay. Well, I like how that's being calculated at the moment. Now, how long until we would expect them to arrive? We don't know. But coming from the US, they've got a ways to go. Now, I wonder what I can do with my Navy right now. You know, besides an invasion, can we stop? Yeah, there you go. Hostile supply. Send some of them there. Alright, well, we've taken a lot of land already, but that's mostly just because they have nothing here. So in the meantime, we are gaining. We've got 33 days until we can take that little pocket. They don't even have a way to get there, so we'll easily do so. But then we can quickly take that unit and shift them and add them here. And, you know, that'll give us the numbers to stay on top compared to them. We're up to 215. Army power projection has not got up much yet, so it's going to take a while for all of that. And there's their first unit to arrive, so they have 1 unit now. So it's not an automatic anymore. It's going to take a little bit longer to push them back. It's going to take a battle. No idea how 1 unit has that good of defense. And they're here. They are here. And we're there. Okay. We just closed that pocket. Therefore, we want to take that unit that was there and add them into this front. Boy, look at that defense score, though. That was 1 garrisoned unit that we were fighting, by the way, so they managed to put 1 together. But we are now finding ourselves in a strong state where maybe we need to go defensive instead and just hold that front, because at this point it looks like the war score is going to continue to grow in our direction. I mean, we're losing 0.43, but they're losing a lot more. They're losing 2.77 daily or weekly, where we're losing. So for now, we don't need to advance any further. which means we need to take our units and switch them to defend front. Can't apply orders on this one just yet. They're currently in a battle? No. I think that's the one that just switched to this front from closing that little pocket. Okay, and now we switch to defend. Now they are trying to advance their front, the two generals they have. Now the weird thing for me is how are they so much stronger than us when our units are supposed to be stronger? Well, they're not. They're not stronger than theirs, are they? We have 2 to 1 for the same strength, which means we need to have 2 to 1 on the front, and they have 31. So we need to bring in another 15. We need to bring another general in, but we also need to pay attention to our, yeah, see, there's your 2 to 1. All right, so with those 19 more, it should close that gap fairly well, and now we just need to essentially hold out for a while until they're ready to make peace. Which they're already down to plus 50, where we're at 92 still. There we go. The other units have arrived. Still have a very slight deficit, but you know, we're talking about not much. And you can see now we are hurting their morale. Successfully defending. Our morale is very high. Their morale is dropping. It's down to 63%. So this, even though it says we have a negative, it is flipping in our direction. Yeah, all of our units have high morale except for one general, but it's increasing, 91%. Let's keep an eye on, is theirs dropping? This one's at 68%, this one's at 64%. And they now have a negative, so they've already gone from that positive 100 down to 0. I think we're going to win this, folks. I mean, it's looking like it at this point. Yes, I have 21,000 dead. It's, you know, it's costly in that sense, but we don't need to win from that peace deal. Only a minus 32 now for acceptance. They did make a little gain there, though. Is that going to... I'm guessing it's going to lower ours a little bit. Not so much. It's still going pretty quickly in our direction. Minus 14 for them. Minus 17. We are doing enough. We are doing enough, and there it is. Proposed peace deal. They are likely to agree. Now, it looks like I could have done something in terms of adding war goals, but I didn't know how hard or how easy this was going to be. It's taken us barely a year. Barely a year. And there it is. We have been recognized. Did I not press that long enough? Oh no. That was white peace. I wasn't looking for white peace. That was... We're still unrecognized. I didn't do that correctly. That wasn't agreeing to a white peace. White peace is the button below that. I only have one goal. I mean, what else is there to press? And whatever pop-up notice there would have been after the war was gone. You know, I'm dumbfounded looking at why don't we have recognition. So either I didn't click the one more button I needed to select the war goal, and I'm guessing that's probably what I did, or I experienced a bug. Welcome to Grand Strategy games with 1,000 different things that are going on, and until you've done it a bunch of times, you know, you do that once a playthrough, or if that, I suppose all we ended up getting out of that was a white piece. Now, until 1934, which is still before the end of the playthrough, and we only did that in 1 year. We managed to do that in 1 year, so there is still a possibility if it allows us once again to try to press the U.S. for that come 1934. Big time war on the way. Great Qing has intervened in a French attack on Bali. And, we're looking at a massive play here. Tempted to get involved in this one. In the meantime, the economy is just booming like crazy with 189 construction, and I'm getting a lot done and finding a few weaknesses that were out there. Austria wants a trade agreement. You bet. And so we've managed to turn our balance positive. We're climbing up there. We are almost to 200 million for our GDP. Also, standard of living 211. We just hit 10.1 a handful of years ago. Now it's 11.3. Literacy rate also jumping to 30. And there it is. We are over 200 million now with GDP and climbing. And there is that bolt action rifle as well. So there's that other military target that we had that's going to make us that much stronger. Automatic machine gun, also going to take just 34 months. I'm up to an army projection of 2109 US. They turned things up. They're up to a 2632. So they've added better tech. Their Navy is unchanged. Our Navy has gotten stronger in the meantime. So, okay, we have an advantage in the Navy, but we're still at a disadvantage. But the thing is that the war, as we saw, was all fought here. And they don't have units here for the most part. They do have some now. I do believe that there is at least some units present in these states. We just unlocked pump jacks, which means we can actually start drilling for oil. We have 3 places that have it. Sakhalin doesn't have the peasants for it, but Western New Guinea and Eastern New Guinea do. So we're going to get those up and running. And we're rolling up on February 2nd, 1934 quite soon, as it's November the 4th. So we have just a couple months left to get through with a positive balance of nearly 60,000 now. So the economy is very strong. We don't have to turn things down, and actually I need to get on with construction. Wood is one area that I'm targeting right now. Hardwood was a problem, so I kind of addressed that, but at the cost of quite a bit of wood. So we need to bring that one back up. I've been working on engines, but also the usage of engines, so it's kind of been twofold on that. Now, as we're just over a month away from the truce ending with the U.S. and us being able to attack them, will force recognition be a possibility? Because at the moment, it's not a possibility with anyone. Okay, force recognition is available. Once again, Russia would actually side with us on this one, but I don't think we need them to. And you can see here now, there are 2 units and 22 on the way already. So they're going to be sending 24 units to the front. So we want to get, well, all of the local units once again. Alright, so that's going to be 78 units on the way. A lot of them are going to be there quite quickly. And all of them. So this is that previous group. They are bringing 33 to counter that, but for now we have a pretty serious advantage. Now, how soon they'll be there, I do not know. Zanzibar, Treaty Port, and Katanga are once again what they're going for. Now, I would try to aim for more than recognition this time around, but based on how the last one went, if and only if it actually would noticeably, do something. But it's 1934. We have a year and a half left of this playthrough, and we're not even at the war stage right now, so we don't want to go there. Italy declares neutrality. Prussia declares neutrality. We could still sway here late in the war if we want to get Russia on our side, but the advantage down to 31. They have 35 units here now, so it is an advantage. And here we go again, round 2. I won this last time, but didn't handle it properly. And now we are trying to advance the front against an enemy who has strong defense. But you can see how close we are matched now. But we've brought a lot more units. We are going to have to advance some to win this war, though. There's your click the button. See, I was right. Click the button on what it is you're trying to target. We are gaining faster than they are. I mean, that's clear. They're minus 0.49, we're at minus 0.42, and then we have a slight advantage on the front, and they are not calling in extra troops. So we need to really keep an eye on our morale. All we need to do is conquer a little bit of territory, make a little advance, and we could start to see the war score tick in our favor a lot faster than it would in their favor. And we definitely need that to happen if we are to do this within a year and a third. Okay, one of their defensive units is seeing their morale drop. We are seeing one of ours drop. We're going to have to be careful about that. All right, we finally are getting their units here on this front. Their morale is starting to drop off quite a bit, meaning the advantage, even though we're only a +8, +9 right now, if their morale gets low, we're going to suddenly get in a position where we are going to be quite strong compared to them. But we're also inside a year here. And you can see that advantage is starting to grow. Can we take some territory? Because right now we're barely ahead in this war. But if we can take some territory, that would do it. That would get us moving. Watching that morale drop, only 2 units defending the front. This could and should be where we finally, gain. There, yes. Okay, now we have some territory. And now you can see +5. +5, just like that. And that starts to turn, the war our favor. I mean, we're losing 0.46. But now they're losing 2.54 weekly. We don't have to be winning. We just have to hold a little bit of land is all. And without the morale, I think we're going to continue to advance now. We have 5 garrison units that, do have some morale. So those are kind of the ones that we are fighting against for the most part. Ooh, there's the autumn. Check mark. Check mark important. It's going to take a bit more here, but they are starting to lose pretty rapidly their support. But it's also late July. Now, here's the thing. We've succeeded and not succeeded, right? We already won this war once. I just didn't have the check mark. Now, the threshold with the check mark would have been, different. Looks like a -50 for the war goal being pressed. So to press that war goal, we needed 50 more on the war score. But we had it. It would have taken a little bit longer is all. But now it's August, and we have just a few months to go, and we still need 113. It's taking longer this time because advancing the war took a bit longer. And we now have 2 fronts. We do have 2 fronts. But we've split that front, and we still have the advantage here, and then a significant advantage on this one. They're advancing the front. Their happiness to stay in this war is dropping daily, but a month and a half to go. Please tell me it's the end of 1936? I don't think it is. I think it's January 1st. Defensive pact with the East India Company, sure. Growing October. More advances being made. 223 million is the GDP, so we're approaching $250 million. So close to that one. It's December 18th. I don't think I can get anything constructed quite in time to push that to 225, but 31.7% literacy, 11.7 standard of living, which is a good rise considering where it was. 46.9 million people. The balance was really good, but of course construction's off at the moment, but the cost is, well below what we have going on here. We are, for the second time, succeeding in beating the United States to gain recognition. I just didn't quite do it right the first time. They have a -19, and yet we're still -65. And there it is. Game over. We did it and didn't do it, right? I just was one button click short the first time. The -50 would have made it take a hair longer. all that would have done was bump our rank, because it would have turned us into a major power, maybe a great power. Uh, at the very, very end, we dropped from 10th to 14th. That might have been the war itself. 1759 prestige. I don't know where we fell off at, because when we started the war we were number 12, but I can't stop here. It's not enough. I've got to do one more playthrough. It's going to be somebody who's already recognized, because technically we succeeded. I mean, I already won this war once. Just wrong button click. And then we were doing it again, and we were right on our way. Right on our way. We were easily winning this thing. They weren't adding any troops to the front. They weren't threatening us. It was a matter of 2 more months, and we've got the recognition, and then we were going to become a major power. So let's pencil check that one. We did it. Okay, we did it. All that leaves to do now is to be a great power and paint the world. So who to pick for that? One obvious candidate, the US, since we just beat them into submission twice. And I have yet to do a playthrough where the US was actually becoming the world superpower. They've been a great power, but they've never been more than 6th, 7th strongest. A European. Great Britain totally failed in this playthrough, so they would be a good one, because you know that they can be strong. Great Qing. Get recognized and become powerful, but they're pretty powerful already, and getting recognition feels like it would not be that hard with them. And so really, are you accomplishing much? I'd like to, at least have some hurdle to jump. And in Great Qing, the recognition would not be that hard. Now, it wasn't easy for Japan, and we kind of didn't do it. We did it, right? We did it. So I'm kind of leaning towards US or Great Britain, or maybe we take a Central European. In the US, you have some interesting things to do with, a civil war, colonizing the Native American lands, and then, of course, all those possibilities of, poof, Canada's yours. Oh, Mexico, what? South America? Welcome! And, kind of rolling. I will not play Russia. That's not my bag. France, big blue blob, probably too easy for me. But so Central European, Great Britain, or the US. So we'll have to tune in next time. And yeah, I know I said I was going to be done after this one, but we got one more to do. We're not done yet. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.